So let's talk about cutting wool. Let's talk about the URO-WOOL from Buff and Shine for a second. But before we do that, let's talk about realities of what's going on with clear coats on new cars in the world right now. It's kind of crazy, right? And so years ago we had 6 or 7 mils. I'm going to talk in mils right now. I know a lot of you use microns, whatever floats your boat. We simply do mils because it's kind of easier for our staff. We kind of always had a rule at 3/10 of a mil. They couldn't go any further. That's really out the window now in modern days. We're talking 6, 7 years ago and past for the past 20, 25 years. But starting in about 2016, we started noticing a lot of the new car paints. So this is brand new cars, OEM paint systems. We're getting really, really soft and getting a lot thinner. Flash forward to current times, and the paint systems are ultra thin. There's not much paint on cars. So when we're talking cutting pads, let's go back again, kind of to learn history or learn technology and learn as a great technician. And to be a proper artist, you got to kind of look in that rearview mirror for a second. So back in the day, when even before clear coats, before base coat clear coat came out, we were using a lot of twisted wool. So a wool that was really twisted, long yarn. It had a lot of twist, sometimes all the way to the tip. Sometimes it was a frayed yarn, a twist, but then it softened towards the tip. All kinds of technology. Now that technology is still out there, and there's pads that still use that technology, and there's still a place for that technology. But right now, today, and during this whole series, we're going to talk about modern day, what most of us are working on, modern day clear coats. So with that being said, what's going on with modern day clear coats? Well, they're getting thin. They're getting real thin. Matter of fact, all you have to do is take a paint gauge out to a new dealership and check them out, especially imports, Japanese cars, Asian market cars coming in, very, very thin and very, very soft. You're looking at anything GM-based paints, pretty mushy, pretty soft to deal with. So with that there's times where you're going to take and you want to go real mellow. Don't dig into it too much. But in the case of we got severe scratches or severe rids or rid, if you have a rid, random isolated deep scratch, or random isolated deep scratches, well, there's times even on that softer thin paint that we got to dig into it. This is where the URO-WOOL comes in handy. Now, this is a serious cutting pad. And I mean, for today's standards, there's much more, but let's talk about OEM. So with that being said, the nice thing about the URO-WOOL from Buff and Shine is this, a couple different things. You're going to notice that it's a very short pile, but mostly, look at that, there is no interface built into it. So there's no foam interface. What does that do exactly? Well, because there's no foam interface, you've got the backing plate is rigid. And so this is going to work with your tool of choice. By the way, it will work on DA, geared DA. It will work on rotary, this pad. It's an amazing pad. The URO-WOOL, they've done a great job. Buff and Shine did a great job of taking and designing this pad because it works across the board with all these different tools. But the key features of this pad is that a nice full, you're going to see the density of the wool is very serious. And again, I love cutting with wool. Again, no interface pad, which is going to help you cut more. And it's got, if you look at closely, if you get one, there's a lot of twist to it down to the base, but it's a nice twist. It's not too aggressive. The more twist usually is that it's going to get a little more aggressive. And again, this pad, it's going to use its ability with not having interface to build up a little heat. Now, heat when correcting paint is both your enemy or it's your ally, depending on what you're trying to do. So a lot of times when we've got a severe rid, a severe scratch, we're going after it. Even on factory paints. Now, I don't suggest this. You got to really practice this. We'll go down sometimes 800 or 1,000 grit dry papers, sand it out. This pad is what we use to take, and once we back that sanding out, meaning that we start out, let's say we start with 800, go to 1,000, 12, 15, 2, maybe sometimes finish down with 3. This pad, the URO-WOOL, is going to pull those marks out very easily and very nice. And as a cutting pad goes, it's going to remove very little healthy clear coat, because there's such a thing as healthy clear coat. and it's going to remove very little of that and leave as much possible clear coat, healthy clear coat, behind. Now, it is a lot more aggressive. That's why it's considered a cutting pad. I love this pad in those instances, or if you've got hard paint, the Ram behind me, pretty hard paint, new 2021, 2022, and very, very dense paint for modern day, very dense, but still pretty thin in the 3s and 4s. But you're going to need something like the URO-WOOL to cut through when you've got serious rids on this truck or imperfections. And so I love this pad. Now, the other thing, I've got several here, but I want to show you this one. This pad, we take a number of our pads, and you can see is the edges are just starting to come delaminated a little bit. They're coming out. Is that a bad thing? No, this pad's done over 30 vehicles. So it's very cost effective. It stands up well to the heat that you're going to develop when cutting, and it's an amazing, amazing cutting pad. But here's the biggest thing. You can get more aggression with another pad, but again, you got to be really careful on modern day paints that you're not going to go too much. That's what I like about the URO-WOOL is you're not going too much. So now Buff and Shine designed this, and they've got a variation of sizes. You've got 3, my favorite 5, 6. And so I love the fact that Buff and Shine developed all the different sizes, because in today's world, we're using a lot of different tools, right? And so it's a great combination. So, hey, go check out the URO-WOOL. It's a great cutting pad. It's cost effective. It lasts a long time when you keep it upright, when you're doing proper pad rotation, when you're washing it right, when you're cleaning it as you go, either with a brush, spike, and or air. And it's very, very, very user-friendly when trying to get the deepest of deep rids and scratches out, and of course sanding marks. So hey, I hope you're enjoying this wool pad series. We're going to come to you again tomorrow, Saturday morning, nice and early, and cover another pad in this series. But right now, go check out Buff and Shine, go check out the URO-WOOL, and if you're doing some serious rid removal, imperfection removal, sanding removal on OEM paint, meaning original factory paint, I highly suggest this pad. I think you're going to really like it. So hey, thanks everybody for tuning in. Make your comments below. I'm trying to keep track of them, answer them. You can always reach out to me via email, renny@detailingsuccess.com. We'd love to hear from you. So you guys take care. And again, hey, Buff and Shine, thanks for developing a great pad, and we'll talk to you all soon. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you tomorrow.